Good morning, my honorable faculty, my fellow classmates, and everyone who's going to visit and take a look at this video. So for our assignment, we were asked to choose a sort of clothing item or piece that is, wearable and conduct an in-depth research analysis on its trends and market patterns, designs. So for me, I have selected the Burkini, which is a modest form of swimsuit or athletic uniform, specially made for Muslim women who want to, pursue their career in the sports sector. So when I was thinking about the sort of clothing that I can possibly select, I didn't want it to be something which is very, widely available or widely seen. I wanted something unique to portray. I didn't want it to be a jacket or denim or like coats or kameez. I just wanted something which people will not think on the very first glance. So that's why I've went on with the Burkini. Moving on, before we get into the more detailed aspect, I'd like to talk about how the Burkini actually came into effect. They were first designed by an Australian Muslim by the name called Aheda Zanetti. His company had patented the name back in 2005. Apparently, he was looking at his niece playing tennis with an hijab on, and it was very uncomfortable, and he could tell that the girl is facing issues, or is her performance is not as good due to her choice of clothing. So he went forward and made his filled the market gap by introducing burkinis. But only very recently, like 2-3 years back, is when the burkini broke the internet, when Nike introduced them as an active wear for their swimsuit collection. Moving on, if we take a closer look at how the cloth looks like, it consists of a legging that covers the ankles, a long tunic which covers the hips, and a hood or like a hijab attached with the tunic which covers the head. There are no designs or embellishments, except for the brand symbol on these burkinis. But some burkinis also come in a wide range of colors and embellishments for ice skating or ballet purposes, which we'll soon take a look at. They're usually loose fitted and not figure hugging. So yeah, the silhouette is hidden. Moving on, the target market, demographically speaking, is for Muslim women, females. It goes for all ages of women interested in sports. They're athletes, usually, occupationally speaking. If we take a more in-depth look at the psychographics of the target market, it's usually for women who are practicing Muslims and has religious values, come from maybe a conservative family mentality, are not really comfortable with showing their skin, in their also at the same time interested in sports and want to maintain like an active lifestyle, maybe visit the gym, do yoga, and stuff like that. Moving on, the functionality aspects of these burkinis are basically that they're made of polyester fabric, which is very easy and comfortable on the skin. It stays on and doesn't budge even underwater. It also offers sun protection and doesn't tan the body, since literally the whole body is covered except for like the face. The Nike's Victory swimsuit collection introduced burkinis, with warp knit fabric, which goes like a step further and makes the outfit more breathable, quick drying, and doesn't hinder swimming or whatever sports activity it is. If you take a look, the fabric has holes in them, so it's very breathable and comfortable. Moving on to the different styles and purposes that a burkini may serve. They were first initially made for the purpose of swimming, but they're now used for multiple purposes. They're styled with accessories such as sunglasses and chains, maybe a cute little purse or like shoes, boots. It is now the first choice of clothing for Muslim women who are also athletes and can be often spotted at tennis sessions, badminton, hockey, where Muslim players are involved. They're made in different colors for women to wear during ice skating and ballet performances with like embellishments so that it gives a more princessy feeling to the whole outfit, to the whole performance. Muslims can now participate in many diverse sports and activities. They're also worn for simple purposes like going to the gym or jogging or yoga or any sort of fitness activities. It gives women an opportunity to remain fit without having to worry about their religious beliefs. Moving on to some recent events that occurred. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the French ban on burkinis. Apparently, there was a woman wearing a burkini on a French beach, and the French cops came and harassed her, questioned her, manhandled her on her, outfit, and eventually, the French government imposed a ban on such clothing, like, and the video went viral on the internet, and many celebrities, popular figures came into its support and spoke about how women should have all the liberty to dress the way they want, whether it's, hiding their figure or whether it's bringing them out. So that's one of the things that happened regarding the bikinis. Moving on, the Victory swimsuit collection, which came out in 2019 from Nike, was a huge event and a huge success. It was viral and it was like shared by a lot of people. It gained a lot of positive responses. If we take a look at some of those pictures, we can see women underwater and the clothing doesn't budge, or above water and it doesn't really impact their performance. Women can wear it and have fun without having to really worry about their hijab coming off or too much skin showing or anything of that sort. So it's very functional and very preferable in such cases. Moving on to some of the future trends that we might see in burkinis are firstly, peplum burkinis with like frills on the waistline, or, burkinis paired up with sarongs, which is basically an extra pair of clothing. Maybe it is, like it consists of colors and it adds that oomph of color in the outfit. They can be paired up with skirts and coveralls and have given like a more preppy, girly, fun vibe. Moving on, some of the ultimate, like, we can also maybe in more future we can see more colors coming out. Right now, the burkini line is designed in blacks and maroons and deep blues color, in the darker color palette, because dark colors usually hide our curves and like stuff. But in the future maybe we can see them in other colors. Maybe the hijab style might change, since it doesn't, like girls might be open to exposing their neckline with a burkini, which currently comes in like an all into just the face is out. They can be paired up with long shrugs and can be worn for brunches or parties. It won't be limited to sports and athletic occasions only. Burkinis are here to stay. I would like to think of them as classics, or things that will be a classic eventually, since it's still, the concept is still very new, because of its functionality, because of the opportunity that it provides Muslim women. It gives them the option to explore their sporty side while keeping their religious behaviors intact. So it is here to stay for sure. At the same time, it is also expected to have cycles within cycles, meaning that maybe new designs or features or maybe change in shapes or silhouettes are expected, but it is not likely to fade away, from the fashion street because of the purpose that it serves. Okay, so talking about trendsetters with burkinis, I would like to mention Zahra Lari. She's an Emirati ice skater. She's also often referred to as the Ice Princess. She's the first Muslim woman who has taken ice skating in such modest clothing. So Nike has used her as one of their brand ambassadors to set an example for millions of other athletic and religious Muslim women, so that they can come forward and take part in their desired sports, as long as it's not interfering with their religious beliefs. So the burkini usually follows a trickle across theory, meaning that Nike introduced its burkinis by calling them their Victory Swimsuit Collection, and then many smaller brands, like two of them I have mentioned, followed through and invented their versions, but in like lower price points. I have shared screenshots here where Nike were selling its burkinis at the price range from $240. Shein, a Chinese giant brand, came up with their own version of the burkini and like literally priced it at £26. And then Lyra, which is another brand which is a bit more premium than Shein, came with their versions of burkinis and priced it around $84 and like in the $100 range. So it definitely goes with the trick across theory. Moving forward towards the mood board that I have prepared for the future of burkinis, if you take a closer look, there is more use of pastel colors for instead of plain burkinis in the future, because pastel is something which is very much in trend right now. I recently like got invited to like 100 weddings, and literally 50 of them had the pastel theme going on. So maybe the brands will take the hint and introduce more pastel themed burkinis. Then if you take a look at the top pictures in the mood board, they're printed, like florally printed. So printed burkinis are also something that we have yet to see, but we will in the future. Maybe there will be use of fancy sleeves, puffed sleeves with like wide shoulder pads, ideal to wear in sports events, or maybe in like sports activities itself. If you take a look at the pictures in the middle, you'll find that. And then I'm really sorry, peplum burkini tunics, which means that the use of frills and like fancy collars or fancy necklines being used on the burkini's design. Use of sequined materials for burkinis, can be, if burkinis are made out of sequins, it can also be worn to like high black tie events like the Met Gala and stuff, because it'll really look pretty. Recently, if you notice, Kim Kardashian sort of donned that whole black look for Kanye's album promotion, Donda, where she was, spotted with the hood scarf too. So that's sort of a burkini as well, if we think of it that way. I should have added a picture. It just came to my mind right now. That would have been interesting. Anyway, maybe in the future we can see women take hijab as a scarf with like the lapel hanging in front, like the picture in the middle, exact middle. And then we can maybe see burkinis but like with buttons and like in a more coat style structure, but still very wearable for sports events or like sports activities. So that's all I have prepared for this. I hope there was enough analysis on how the burkini might proceed in the future with its with its design and its functionality. I do not wear a hijab, but I'm totally down and I'm totally like happy to see that Muslim women are growing from their own conservative sides with such and a highly functional active wear. So that's all for today. I hope you really liked it. Thank you so much. I'll take leave.